Everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 5 and we are doing cash book और हमने इसका already introductory lecture भी ले चुके हैं and we have solved 4 questions. So hopefully you people have an idea what we are going to do. यहाँ पर questions के अंदर we are given some transactions. As an accountant we do know we usually receive different vouchers from the department. Our organization will serve these vouchers to us. These vouchers contain a raw information or a raw data would be given to us and we are needed to convert this raw data into a usable information. ये जो आपको सामने ट्रांजैक्शंस नज़र आ रही हैं आप जब अगर प्रैक्टिकली काम करेंगे तो इन द सेम वे यू विल रिसीव दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ एक्सप्लेनेशन और दिस सॉर्ट ऑफ रॉ transactions or detail of these transaction would be given to you like this. Possibly आपको हो सकता है एक पेपर पे लिख के दे दिया जाए और it may be possible you are given a printed vouchers या कोई receipts आपको दे दी जाए तो you will receive these sort of transactions and you are needed to convert these transaction into a usable information. कैसे आप इनको इस चैप्टर के हिसाब से सिर्फ बता रहा हूँ बाकी इन्फॉर्मेशन डिफरेंट हो सकती है. फॉर दिस चैप्टर व्हाट यू विल डू यू विल कन्वर्ट दीज ऑर्डिनरी ट्रांजैक्शन इनटू जर्नल एंट्री JOURNAL journal entries. You will convert these transaction into journal entries at first stage and then there are two elements very important in this chapter. Those two elements are cash and bank. If information is associated and related with cash, if information is associated and related with bank account, you will pick those transaction and will transfer to a ledger. अब थोड़ा सा हम इसके परफॉर्मे की शक्ल को भी देख लें so that you can understand in a different way. Here we have performer of this question. At first stage, as I have requested, we will complete journal entries. No matter how many number of transaction we have, we will make journal entry of each transaction which is given, and when these journal entries would be completed we will transfer these journal entries into cash book. Each and every entry would be transferred or would be posted in cash book. Now cash book shape you have already familiar with. There are two parts. One left side is debit, one right side is credit, and you have an idea there are two columns over debit side, cash and bank, and there are two columns on credit side, cash and bank. And simple procedure is this: you will see your journal entry. If cash is present then it's okay for you and you will pick that cash or bank. If it is written on debit side you will post on debit side of cash and bank. If cash or bank, just two elements, cash or bank is present on credit side, you will go to the credit side and will post over here. Now here possibility is it's not necessary that only cash and bank would be present over here. There might be several other transactions which are not in cash or which are not associated with the bank. So what you will do with those transactions which are not including cash and bank, you will leave those transactions for the time being. We are not making ledgers for the whole journal entries. We are just associated with cash and bank, just two elements. We will pick only those entries which includes cash account and bank account only. Okay, returning to our question, here are our transaction. First step is we will convert these transaction into journal entries. We will start our reading right from the start. Enter the following transactions into the books. और जो काम की चीज़ हमें मिली है वैसे तो वो explanation ही है. That is double column cash book. And why we are saying double column cash book? Because we are associated with only two elements, cash and bank. Remaining entries which will include other things, not cash, not bank, but rather other things are present in those entries, we will exclude. We are related with only two entries, that is why only two elements, cash and bank, that is why it is written to create double column cash book. All right, and next is just date. So we are going to start our journal entries. First date is April 1 and entry is cash in hand. Cash in hand means you have your cash, neither cash is going out nor cash is coming in. You are not receiving cash, you are not paying cash, just cash in hand. Cash in hand means it is a favorable thing for you. Cash is your asset. Asset, if it is present in favorable position, so then it would be written on debit side. So what you will do, you will mention cash on debit side. Now the question is, you are not receiving cash, you are not paying cash, the second reference is not available. So what you will do, just to fill the credit side, you will write balance. As there is no transaction, just cash in hand. You will see the date of this transaction is April 1. First thing first, you will post the date, and second responsibility of you is to put the amount, and cash balance amount is 80,000. So you will write 80,000 on debit side, and a same amount will be posted on the credit side. In this way, your first transaction has been completed, which was of date 1, and now no, there is a second part of this entry, and that is bank overdrawn balance 270,000. Overdrawn is a special word, and hopefully you have heard of it. Overdrawn means you were having an amount in your bank account. For example, you have 1000. मैं लिख के आपको बता देता हूँ. Let's say in bank account you were having 1000 rupees. Your bank balance is 1000 rupees, and your suddenly you have to pay your creditor. At a stage you have to pay to your creditor rupees 1200, for example. Payment to account payable लिख देते हैं, जगह थोड़ी सी बच जाएगी. That amount is needed to be like 1200. 1100 भी ओके है, लेकिन 1200 हम लिख देते हैं जो मैंने बोला. So try to understand, you have 1000 rupees present in your bank account, while you are liable to pay to your account payable 1200. If you will draw or issue a check of rupees 1200, what will happen? You do have 1000 rupees present in your bank account. You are needed to pay your account payable 1200. You have issued a check of rupees 1200. What will happen? That check will be bounced. Why? Because you do not have sufficient amount in your bank balance. Your bank balance is just 1000, and you have issued a check of rupees 1200. So here is the stage where you can understand overdrawn. You will call your bank manager and will request him to pay the amount to your creditor. If you have issued a check more than the amount present in your bank account, you have called your bank manager and requested him to pay the amount. If you have a good relationship and you are helping the bank financially, and bank will take care of yourself, and if you will make a good promise to return additional amount, that means 200 additional amount, if you will make a promise to return in time, your bank manager will cooperate, and the check which was of rupees 1200 would be encashed and payment would be made to your account payable. Now you will be surprised, if amount was present 1000, how is it possible that the check is not bounced? Amount on check is more than that of your balance. So this sort of relationship normally present in a good customer and a good manager. Now let's say if he had encashed that check which was over the amount of balance, 200 rupees was the amount which was not present in your bank account. This 200 you will pay in 1, 2, 3 or 4 days, whatever the criteria you have decided. So it is a sort of very small loan for very shorter period of time. 200 rupees which were not present in your bank account, but bank manager had paid that amount, and he had described this 200 rupees as a shorter term loan for a very shorter period of time. After 1, 2, 3 days you will return this amount, loan will be finished. This 200, the shorter loan, is called overdrawn. So in this case 200 shorter loan, I'm describing it. Loan is liability, then overdrawn balance पे वापस आई है. Now you can understand overdrawn is what? A shorter loan. एक तरह का ये लोन होता है जो बहुत थोड़े अरसे के लिए होता है. लोन इज़ योर लाइबिलिटी एंड लाइबिलिटी शुड बी प्लेस्ड ऑन क्रेडिट साइड. So what you will do, you will come to your journal entry and here your bank balance is showing overdrawn. What you will do, you will write bank on credit side because it is for the time being your liability. Hopefully you people have understood. Now it is just the balance. Keep it in mind that overdrawn activity has already been passed and this day at which you are creating this journal entry, your bank balance is showing overdrawn balance. It is just balance. Amount is not being deposited, amount is not being withdrawn from the bank. It is just cash is present in your bank account in shape of overdrawn, means negative balance. So you will write over here just to fill the debit side as balance. Let's see how much amount is 2,70,000. So you will put 2,70,000 on debit side and same amount would be written on credit side. Date would be same, that means 1 you can write it is 1B so that there can be a little different. Next entry is on April 4 and what it is saying, receive 2 checks for cash sales from X and from Y. You have sold some commodities and you have received checks from 2 persons from X and from Y. So what will you do? You can make one journal entry for both A and B, or you can make 2 different entries. So what we are going to do, we will make 2 different entries so that it should not be mixed with each other, and we will only focus on this received one check from X. When you will receive check from anybody and you have not deposited that check into the bank, keep it in mind, do not write bank. Though you have an idea that check is directly or indirectly associated with bank, but what I have said, if you have not deposited check into the bank, do not write bank. For the time being, consider it as your cash. Though you have an idea, you do know that it's not cash, it's a check. So for reference, you are writing it that the check you have received is just considered to be as cash. From whom you have received your check is X, and X is actually the person from whom